What's going on, guys? Jivan back with another podcast plus gameplay. Today we're going to be talking about how to be the most productive person you can be. The way I got to the point in my life where I am is by managing my time like really dang well. When I'm working on something, I focus up, dude. I get it done like 10 times faster than other people. And the reason is because of my productivity and my planning and my focus. Like, almost anybody can do it if you really put your mind to it. I'm going to be giving you all the tips you need in this video to become the most productive you can be. Let's hop right into it. The first tip is anytime I notice myself open my phone or start to procrastinate and just not do anything with my time, I mentally slap myself in the face, get out a piece of paper, and write down things that I can do to be productive with my time. The main thing is when I pull out my phone, usually I'm bored and I just don't feel like doing anything. So by taking out a piece of paper and writing down stuff that you can do, you can lay out your options and try to pick one that sounds exciting or sounds fun to you. And try to think of ways to make the boring stuff sound fun as well. Like maybe you have music on while you write a paper, you know what I mean? This is a great way to get back on track when you're about to procrastinate 3 hours of your life away towards nothing. Along similar lines, anytime you have a project that's a bit intimidating because of how large it is, grab a piece of paper and start breaking down the different steps of how you're going to tackle this big project. And try to think of ways you can do this big task as fast as possible. Anytime I'm making a video, I try to think, how can I do this the most efficiently, while also maintaining that end goal, maintaining that good vision. That's how I'm able to get more videos out than a lot of other creators in the community. When you're working on these big projects, try to cut out distractions. I know it's hard, but just throw that phone on the other side of the room. I always have my phone muted and I put it off to the side where I can't even see it, and all of a sudden I'm just working a lot faster. Try to think ahead towards major things that are coming up and try to plan for them. I always try to stay 1 or 2 weeks ahead on my schedule, and the whole reason for that is just so that I can be more productive. A lot of times I'm trying to get ahead 2 weeks, that way I can just chill. The more work that I get done, the less work I'll have to do later. That's the way I look at it. So if I'm ever in the zone and I finish all the work that I had planned for that day, because I'm planned ahead, I can grab some stuff from the next day and start working on it. You got to take advantage of every bit of energy you have to be the most productive. It's important to note though, if you grind too long, you might get burnt out. So you got to make sure that you're giving yourself some times off. Usually once or twice a week, I try to hang out with friends. And then the days where I'm not hanging out with friends, I always try to watch an hour or two of Netflix, maybe watch a movie or something. And that's my way of refreshing my mind for the next day. One thing to note though, is if you take too long of a break, let's say you take 2 days off, you take the whole weekend and you don't grind anything, you just mess around. You might not ever want to get back into work mode, and that can ruin your mentality. Let's say on the weekend, you literally just party, you do whatever the heck, and then on Monday, you just literally feel like death because you don't want to be doing any of that stuff at school. I've been there and it sucks. The way around it for me is if I'm on a long break, I'm just having the best time of my life partying with friends, whatever. The way I'm able to come back and start getting productive right away again is this. Before I go on those breaks, I try to plan out all the stuff that I have to do when I get back. And the reason I do this, it's not to ruin the fun and be like, oh, I'm going to be coming back to work, it sucks. It's so that when I come back, I'm not going to be overwhelmed. Let's say you're going back to school and you have clubs after school and you have a big exam the next week. If you write down all this stuff on a piece of paper, maybe a to-do list or whatever, once you come back on Monday, just get ready to grind that stuff out. By doing this, you might be so ready for the week that maybe you can get most of your work done on Monday. I'll tell you what, anytime I had an opportunity to finish my homework in class or I could get ahead on some work, I would just bang it out as fast as possible on a day where I had no plans. That way, later in the week, when there's days where I could potentially make plans with friends, I would have that time available because I got my work done ahead of time. I'm telling you, bro, living life like this, living more productive, there is no better feeling. On top of that, if you can be really healthy while being really productive, that'll help your productivity, your mentality, and just life happiness even more. Let's say each morning you wake up at the same time, you wake up at a good hour. That's good stuff right there. I'm trying to wake up earlier every single day that I can because the days where I wake up earlier, there's more time in the day and I get more work done. Today is one of those days. I finished almost an entire week's worth of videos in just today. I finished 2 main channel YouTube videos, 5 Facebook videos, 2 Vibe and Jivan videos, and planned out my next 2 weeks of content, all in one day. And it's only 7 p.m. And just for reference, all of these videos that I edited today were all 8 to 20 minutes long. You can be productive if you really put your mind to it. I wrote down everything I needed to do last night. I woke up this morning, just started going down the list, and I just banged out so much work. Speaking of lists, that's another thing that goes crazy. Whiteboards, bro. I talked about this like 6 months ago. I got 2 whiteboards in my workroom. I'm just constantly writing down ideas on there, writing down videos that I have to do, writing down a to-do list, writing down upcoming tasks that are like a month ahead of time that I can't forget about. Just keeping that whiteboard, like, it's like my reminders. Every time I walk by it, I see it, and it reminds me that I can get ahead and do this stuff if I want to. You can also use your phone for this. I also use Google Docs to keep track of stuff. Like, I have lists everywhere. I'm a list guy. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't, but I'm telling you, it keeps my productivity on another level. And then the last thing, I don't know if it applies to that many of you, but if it does, dude, getting outside, if you're not outside very often, let's say you work at home, getting outside can be the biggest refresher. Some people need a reminder of this. Literally just a walk around the block. If you have no plans of leaving your place, just walk around the block and boom, you got some fresh air, and it should boost your energy levels. I'm trying to get you guys as many tips as possible to be productive because I want you guys to succeed in life. Something that I've always done is if there's a project that I literally have no excitement for and I've been procrastinating it, I really don't want to do it. The way I manage to get over those slumps really easily is I just throw everything to the side, like I said earlier, and I start doing it, but I don't just do it. I do it as fast as possible. If there's ever something I'm just so not excited for, I try to like race myself and do it as fast as I can. An example of this is like sometimes people really request certain videos that I just have no desire to make, but I know a lot of people want to hear them, so I'll plan it out and then I edit it as fast as I can and just throw it and I'm just done. You know what? It's just over. I would do this with homework all the time back in the day. If there was a homework assignment that I was so not interested in, I could not focus on it, I would just be like, okay, I don't want to be doing this for like 3 hours because I'm just like not interested. So I would just hyper focus and get it done ASAP pronto. For me, this was always those history like reading assignments where you'd have to read a whole entire article about some boring history thing and then like fill in a whole worksheet. I hated those, bro. I just had no interest in it. So I would just hyper focus, find the answers, just throw all the information out of my brain a second later and move on with my life. That's one way to get past things you don't want to do. The best thing that I did in high school, bro, was literally just working on homework assignments anytime that the teachers would be talking about stuff that doesn't matter. You know that teachers love to ramble on about things that just do not affect anything you're learning. It's not going to be on tests. It's not going to affect your lives. Just pointless information sometimes. Like, I'm not saying every teacher, but some teachers get mad distracted like that. Anytime they would do that, I would be so sly and I would like pull out a worksheet, something I really did not want to do, but I knew I had to. I'd just start filling it out, just slowly filling it out while the teacher babbles on. Sometimes she'd catch me and be like, hey, you can't be working on other stuff in my class. I'd be like, all right. One way that I got around that is I would have out their like textbooks for their class, put a worksheet on top of the textbook, act like I'm really reading it, kind of hide the pencil and like start filling it out. That way it looks like I'm reading the textbook, and then if they're like, hey, like you gotta focus on me, I would just be like, oh, sorry, I missed something you said. I'm looking at it in the textbook. I was just trying to catch up. That worked every single time if you sold it right. Anyways, guys, those are my best tips for staying productive. I hope it helps you guys out. If you have anything that you're procrastinating right now, close out this browser. Hit the like button first and sub if you're new, but then go do your dang work, bro. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.